What's up, you diehards, you degenerates, you lovers of defensive football? This is Josh Raymer, and we are back with another episode of the Big 3 IDP podcast. And we're pointing at the camera here in the Sode Shack and joined in StreamYard by Bobby Reynolds. Bobo, what's going on, man?
What's up, Joshy?
Looking good there, man. I know we've, before we got on the show here, you were already indulging in some Milano cookies. So,
Yep, not sponsored at all by Matt Milano.
yeah, exactly. How has that not happened yet, Addy? I feel like Matt Milano and Milano cookies would be perfect.
Hey, it's a match made in heaven.
That's right.
Uh-oh,
Good to
start
see
early.
Eddie's already at like
Woo!
level 100.
I've been ready for this pod night, boys. Had a rough night.
Yeah, he really did. The police were searching the house next to yours with a flashlight.
Yeah, the neighbors were out of town. Also, let's we're in a new spot now. Thank God.
Yeah, out of the apartment. Praise up.
We've had a rough year. Not just we know all the stuff that's going on in the world, but we've been in an apartment. We've been very in close quarters with each other. We needed to get out of there.
Yeah, you always were recording, I think, at your sister's
That's
house.
right. Yeah, it was not a good situation. So, we're settled in our new spot. But yeah, there was our neighbors are out of town, and their brother was coming over and letting the dog out, and I guess he set off the alarm. So when I pulled in over here, my wife said there was a police officer with a spotlight just wandering around the house. So,
Searching for a serial killer, perhaps.
yeah, so had that to think about. And
Yeah, Adam was here. He was like, I'm going to get my charger. And then he was gone for like 30 minutes. And Bobby and I were sitting here just talking. I'm like, where the hell is Adam? He's been gone to get that charger for like half an hour.
yeah, stressful night.
Stressful night. So now we're here, and you're just going to be blowing off steam this entire episode.
That's right.
I feel
Got
like.
Some beers with me. Ready.
Got a little cooler over here if you're watching the YouTube down on the floor. So there it is, the cooler in all its glory. So, gentlemen, we've got a good Sode tonight. We're going to be hitting a few different points here. We got some news to talk about. We're going to be looking at the Patriots kind of revisionist history here. We did our AFC East preview a couple weeks ago. We were down on the Pats overall just because the quarterback was kind of uninspiring. Of course, they signed Cam Newton, so we'll revisit that a little bit, but we're not going to get too deep into it because we have a segment, Hold 'em or Fold 'em. This is what the Ballers did this past week. We thought was really cool, so we're going to do our take on it with offense and IDP. As a tribute to Peyton Manning, we have 18 Hold 'em or Fold 'em questions that we're going to go through, along with 7 quick hitters that we will touch on real quick. So, should be a fun segment, Addy.
Hey, shout out DJ KT.
That's right. So, yeah, thanks, DJ Cowtown, for, you're not wrong. I mean, the Peyton Manning statue I have is basically doing, like, as Mike Woolard would say, Keanu Neal in The Matrix, bending over backwards.
Peyton
here.
Manning, known for his agility.
Yes, exactly.
And his nimbleness.
That neck is can definitely bend like that on the actual Peyton
this
Manning.
was pre-neck.
This was pre-neck. That's right.
So.
I actually listened to his SB introduction today, which was kind of random. Came up on YouTube, and I thought, I'll give it a little try. And Peyton's really funny.
He's great, man.
He's good. He's got to end up in the booth at some point, right?
I would think so.
But the fact he turned down ESPN, I thought was kind of interesting. Like, this was the time to do it, and he said no, so maybe he just doesn't want to do it.
I mean,
Making tons of money nationwide, and Gatorade, and all
commercials. He's just kind of doing his own thing with his kids.
I wouldn't want to do it either.
Yeah.
Especially with the Corona stuff,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With
How
all
old
the
are his
travel
kids,
you gotta
Josh?
do. I mean, probably like elementary school age. I don't know if they're middle school age yet or not, because the oldest brother, Cooper, is the one that has the kid Arch Manning that is,
right.
I think, 18, like getting ready to go into college here pretty soon.
Yeah,
So
the next Manning.
Yeah.
He's the next Manning.
he is the next. He will be. I mean, that's what's weird. Like LeBron's son, Bronny, we're gonna be, living through that. Like, how weird is that gonna be to have LeBron come up in like kind of close age to us,
Well, I mean, his goal has always been to play with his son.
He might honestly get there.
Yeah.
Because LeBron, kind of like Tom Brady, takes good care of himself. I think he'll play for, at least another 5, 6, 7 years at least.
I don't think Bronny's gonna be anywhere close to LeBron.
No.
But he'll make the NBA, I would think.
He would.
Be,
Yeah.
be like all the sons, Glenn Rice's son and
all the balls.
Tim Hardaway.
Anthony Hardaway's son. Anthony Hardaway?
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Anthony Hardaway. Those were some of my favorite shoes, man, back in the day.
Yeah, he's my favorite player of all time. So
really?
Yes, for sure.
Oh yes, he has a little penny doll.
I got a little penny doll. I've got a poster that I need to bring out here, dude. I need to put it in a frame.
Yeah, we need to bring some swag out here.
It hasn't been taken care of. I wish I would have taken better. I have all kinds of that like old memorabilia that I wish I would have taken better care of.
Dude, that was one of my favorite things this week. We went to my parents' house. They've been gone for a little bit, and me and my daughter got into some of my old baseball and football and basketball cards, and I got a few gems, baby. Got a few gems.
I'm sure if I went through mine as well.
Bobby,
it's at my house, my parents' house somewhere.
You, the best card of all time is the Cal Ripken brother.
Of course.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everyone needs to do a Google search of that.
Yeah, we won't elaborate on
Billy.
the show, but you can look it up.
Billy Ripken baseball card. That's all you got to Google.
It's like a mid '80s Fleer, '90s Fleer.
I've got
Bowman, maybe.
I've got one, but it's got the black box where the deed is.
Adam, I have two of whatever that card is of unopened boxes, like the whole box completely unopened. So
it may be in there.
It may be in there.
Need to throw that out on eBay.
We need to do an unboxing video on the Big 3 account.
Us just sit for an hour just shuffling through cards.
Here's a card.
Hey,
here's a card.
What's up with that Wagner card, Bobby?
Ooh.
What is that about?
I don't know, baby. I don't know who you're talking about. You're talking about Bobby Wagner?
Don't you have the one, the Onus Wagner? Is that the card?
I may have a couple goodies.
Bobby's
I have a couple
Is
goodies.
that in my safe? Like I gotta safeguard the cards here.
Yeah, I need
that one. You showed us that one, and it looked like it was, that most famous card of all time.
I need to be careful who I show things to.
That wasn't.
What's more important?
That was a reprint, Bobby. You need to come clean right now.
He just printed it off at his home printer.
I don't know.
Bobby, that's not the real thing, is it now?
There's a reason I'm here and not there, Adam. I'm worried for my life around y'all now.
You need to sell that. You need to give us. You need to do more for this.
That's a $3.1 million, $3.12 million card. This Honus Wagner baseball card.
I think the most recent one sold for like $900K, but the grade on it was pretty low. It was like a 6.5 out of 10, I think it was. Which I also, as an old card aficionado, I've never been a big fan of the graders. I think the graders are pretty biased when it comes to a lot of that stuff. So not shipping any of my cards off to any graders. I've got some good ones, man. I got some of the old Griffey rookies, Chipper Jones rookies. I think I got the Bonds rookie somewhere. Most of mine are baseball. I don't have a ton of football.
Yeah.
I think most of mine, weirdly enough, are basketball. I don't know why.
I got both. I got basketball and baseball. Don't have a lot of football.
I got a ton of Tiger Woods stuff too. I was a big Tiger fan when he was big. That was my Sunday. Coming home, putting my red Nike polo on and watching Tiger just dominate. Just dominate.
That's right. You never know where the Big 3 pod is going to go at the outset. So tonight we ended up on trading cards and graders and our biases against their biases. So
yeah, we just wanted to give them our personality a little bit more. We've been too serious lately.
That's the extent of Addy. It's just like, what voice am I yelling in? So let's hit some news here, fellas. There has been some stuff come out. The big thing right now the NFL is working through is how are we going to handle the season especially with the second spike that's going on with the coronavirus. So what came out this week, and I don't think, as far as I've seen, it has not been agreed to by the NFLPA, but the NFL wanted to knock the preseason down to 2 games. So basically they were going to chop off week 1 and week 4 of the preseason and just have weeks 2 and 3. So I think there was supposed to be a call today to discuss this in more detail because the NFLPA is like, we shouldn't have any games that don't matter and expose our players to unnecessary risks in those games. It makes sense. But then again, the other side of that argument is, well, then you have guys that haven't seen the field potentially in, 8 months, stepping out there week 1, maybe blowing out a hammy. So I think there's a give and take. I'll be very curious to see where the NFLPA comes down on this. But, Addy, I think this has been a long time coming that the preseason needed to get chopped down for a while.
Right. Yeah. I'm worried about it, though. I was having this conversation with a guy I work with today about it, and I mean, I saw where the NBA, I saw where Adam Silver had kind of had some comments about, we'll reassess if it's getting worse, then we will shut down the season, and I worry that there's going to be other leagues, following suit with that type of stuff. I'm just worried,
I think
Corona's not slowing down.
It's not. The plan was always to chop down the preseason, though.
That's great. Yeah, we don't less of that stuff. I mean, who cares?
Yeah, and that's why I'm not worried about this particular development, is because this was always going to be the plan. The second spike is what worries me. But we'll start to see, like, let's see if they do stick with this week 2, week 3 preseason thing. Let's see what the testing looks like before that week 2 game. Or if there's like a ton of cases. What's crazy is the NBA canceled their season over like 1 or 2 positive tests.
Yeah.
And we've already had that in the NFL. And so they haven't done anything. They've gone full steam ahead, done everything they said they were going to do. And that's why I just think there's too much money on the line for the season to be canceled outright.
Right. I worry that it could be shortened, I guess, maybe is the better.
It could be.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NFL has built in some contingencies if they need to move stuff around.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bobby, were you worried at all when you heard this news?
I didn't really care for what was shortened. I think they probably should have played week 1 and week 3, because if you look, obviously there's 14 days in between those games. I think that week 4 for sure needed to be gotten rid of, because then it does give you at least 14 days or 2 weeks in case you have, some type of positive test to get ready for the actual week 1 of the NFL season. So I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with the weeks that were shortened, but I get it.
Yeah, I think the reason they chopped off week 1 was to give a longer ramp up because there's basically I think 3 weeks now between the start of training camp, which training camps are going to report July 28th. That's going to be most of the teams. And then I think the games are supposed to kick off August 23rd, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives a roughly 3 week ramp up period. And if they hadn't have done that, it would have been a 2 week ramp up period.
Yeah, in the words of Mark Sessler, I think we're in for one of the weirdest seasons we've ever seen.
Without a doubt.
Amen.
And the weirdness continues in a different way. This is something we touched on in the last episode. It was like Voldemort from Harry Potter, where we were just refused to say the name of the Washington football team. And now FedEx Field has come out and asked Washington to change its name, or it could pull the naming rights deal that they essentially have with the franchise. So, Addy, this is something that I feel like is gaining momentum, but the fly in the ointment is that Daniel Snyder is just
the worst.
He's the worst. I mean, he's the worst owner in professional sports, and he's the type that's like a petulant child that's going to dig his heels in and refuse to give in to what pretty much everyone wants except for him.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going to go. I agree. He is that type to do that and be petty. But I don't know. This is the time where that stuff is changing. We've seen it across the country with all these other things, and it's about time. We've always wanted it to happen ourselves. It's just weird. It's just there's just no. We got to move on and do something different for Washington. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen there. I hope for the best, but Dan Snyder is a little weasel. So.
He is. That's the perfect way to describe him. Bobby, what not something that we touched on a whole lot last week, but it's time, right? Now's the right time to make this move.
I think it's also ironic that it's the team that's the closest to the capital of the United States. Let's pick a different name. It's time. Not to get too political or anything, but the state of Mississippi just changed their state flag, for heaven's sakes. You can change a freaking team name. I'm pretty sure everybody on that team will be fine with it.
And here's the thing. I think he sees it as, well, our fans would be upset. No, I think you would actually see a very positive reaction to this. I think you would pick up a lot of new fans that, don't have to feel shame about the team name plastered across their hat or their T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one thing if and I'm not an expert, or a person in this minority group, so I can't say with 100% accuracy, but like the Washington professional team name is almost like a racial slur.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have the Cleveland Indians or the Kansas City Chiefs. That's one thing, but then you
Mm-hmm.
have this other team name. It's like, how is this still how are we still having this debate in 2020? I feel like we're in the 1960s right now.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
Anyways,
Even Cleveland, like they're probably considering a name change. That has
would
to have
think
been
so.
brought up. The
Most
Chiefs.
of them, yeah.
Even like the Florida State Seminoles, all
Yeah.
that stuff is gonna be
I'd
At
say-
least
looked
the
at. Or at
Seminoles.
least like the headdress stuff that
Yeah.
is associated with it.
or
But
the
that's more-
like the tomahawk
When
chop.
we went to when we saw the Titans Chiefs game, remember there was freaking
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
fans in the stands with headdresses.
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird.
Yeah.
Be better, everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see how it pans out. It's going to be an interesting story to track, along with all the Corona stuff. A lot of like external forces swirling around the NFL right now.
Mm-hmm.
But guys, let's hit the Patriots rankings update. So, I know personally, and this is a little bit because of my Patriots hatred, but we were all kind of cool on the Patriots offense when we did our AFC East preview.
Cool. Let's put it nicely, Josh.
Yeah, we were.
And now we're cool,
Yeah.
man.
That's right, Daddy. So with Cam Newton coming on board, do you all what kind of bump do you all give? Let's assume health. Let's assume he's healthy. He plays 16 games. He's the starter. Addy, where are you kind of seeing the Patriots now and the weapons?
Yo, Josh, I am stoked, man. It's going to be such a rad year, dude.
Oh, my God. I'm going to take you off the camera so you can't see yourself anymore.
I'm doing the hang loose thing a lot tonight, guys.
It's all about showing our personality, right, Addy?
That's right.
Oh man.
But no, Cam Newton. I mean, this is great. This is fantastic. Bill Belichick, man, just
Once again,
smoking a blunt and just cackling.
paying Cam Newton $550,000 guaranteed.
It's about the respect, though, Josh. That's what Cam said. It's not about the money. He's making the least guaranteed out of Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston.
Couldn't
Isn't that
Couldn't it be up to like 7.5 million in incentive?
Right.
Good. With
Yeah,
incentives,
I'd
yeah.
imagine he's gonna be fine and he's gonna make the roster and be their starting
I'm
quarterback.
sure the leverage the Patriots had was A, they had $1 million in cap room, so they don't have a lot of room to operate here. B, they just said, look, we have no idea what your health looks like, so we're not going to pay you all this guaranteed money, and you go out there and your foot is messed up or you can't throw because your shoulder's still messed up, and now we're on the hook for money we don't have.
Yeah.
So I get it. And also, if you believe the reports out there, Cam had no other offers. So there's something to be said for being wanted by a championship pedigree team and a coach like Bill Belichick.
Cleveland inquired, but didn't actually give an offer, which I think is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think it may have to do something with OBJ and him working out quite a bit together. But it also might show a little bit of lack of faith with Baker Mayfield.
yeah, that's what I think it means. Hey, could this mean that maybe Odell's getting traded to New England since they was working out?
Ruh-roh, Sanu for ODZ. Straight up.
Just connecting the dots.
It's true. It's true. He did come out and say, I think Odell actually addressed that, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going anywhere. You can find me in the land, I think was his tweet or something.
Yeah, I retweeted and no doubt.
No doubt. No doubt. So does this give, like, this obviously bumps the Patriots' weaponry up a little bit, but is it a significant bump in your mind?
I like it a lot. I like it better for, I guess, N'Keal Harry. That the tight end situation intrigues me. Whether it's going to be Dalton Keene or what is it, Asai? No.
Yep.
That's right. Asai.
There is another guy there, but I don't know if he'll make the lineup. But go ahead.
Matt Lacoste, or is it?
Yes,
guy?
I think. Well, maybe. I don't know if he's moved on or not.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the running backs, though, and it's not necessarily Sony Michel that I'm excited about. It's Damian Harris. I think this. I don't know. We saw Sony had another operation this offseason on his foot. Damian Harris was banged up all last year, didn't get really a chance to get out there and play. But we got to remember this was a guy that was a third-round pick the year before. And I think that they're going to want to see what they got with him. And I think he might, surprise a lot of people and probably be the one that has the most juice on the roster. So I'm interested in him. N'Keal Harry, I think he could probably be the wide receiver that benefits the most. But yeah, overall, I mean, I like the offense. I mean, I think Cam he'll be solid. He'll be a great, probably back end quarterback one for you if he gets to play all 16. So yeah. I mean, I like it for New England. I like it a lot. I mean, are they the division favorites all of a sudden again?
Just until we know Cam's health, in my mind.
If Cam's healthy, if Cam gives them 16 games this year,
I don't know. I still like that Bills team just a smidge better.
I do like that Bills team, and they got much better this off. Well, they lost Jordan Phillips. They lost
Ed
Shaq
Oliver.
Lawson. Ed Oliver is. We'll see what happens. Right.
But you pick up Stephon Diggs on offense. I mean, that's a nice offense.
Cole Beasley.
That offense to me is head and shoulders above the Patriots.
Zach Moss. Yeah, I think those are the two best teams. It'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out there.
Yeah, because you have another running back coming in now.
Yeah.
To spell Devin Singletary.
But
and Zach
those
Moss.
are the two teams, right? We're not believers in the Jets.
I mean, we'll see. Crazier things have happened, but like I've said, until Adam Gase is out of the building, I don't have any faith that the Jets can truly take off.
Mm-hmm.
Agree. So, gentlemen, let's get into our main segment here. This is going to be a lot of fun. Bobby,
Mm-hmm.
gonna let you steer the ship here. You put a lot of
Oh,
these
boy.
into the dock. So take us through each of these, and what we're gonna do, we're gonna hold it, or we're gonna fold it. So basically, it's another way of saying, are you buying or are you selling? And what we've done here, like I said, we've mixed some offense and some defense, and we've thrown out some spicy, essentially, finishes for a lot of players.
Statements.
Yeah, these are guys that have been getting some buzz, guys that maybe we're high on, and we're throwing out some crazy ideas. So we're going to see, are we buying it? Are we selling it? Are we holding it? Are we folding it? Bobby, get us started.
Absolutely. And hopefully most of these are some controversial topics. We tried to pick a lot of stuff that's in the news and being talked about right now. So let's start it right now. Joshy, I'm going to give it to you to start. So hold 'em or fold 'em. Cam Newton is a top 12 quarterback in 2020.
So if Cam is healthy, and healthy as in he's able to run the ball with, like, no limitations, like he's not like, oh, I'm hanging back in the pocket because I don't want to hurt my foot or my shoulder. If he's old Cam, like close to old Cam, yes, I am holding that he is a top 12 quarterback come the end of the season, because he's just always been really good for fantasy. Even with those weapons there being so, I'm holding it.
I agree. I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope that he stays healthy. And if he does, top 12.
The rushing floor. He has to have the rushing.
That's a great point.
If he's just a kind of a pocket passer now in this phase of his career,
Not going to be great.
Probably not. But if he still has the rushing floor, those quarterbacks are just cheat codes. It would be very hard for him not to end up in the top 12.
Or the rushing touchdowns.
Yes, exactly.
Even if he
down
doesn't-
near the goal line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It will be very different, though, because you go from one of the most immobile quarterbacks to not a very mobile quarterback, but I mean, Cam is able to run from time to time.
Yep.
I'm going to fold him. Even though I bought Cam at a perfect time a couple months back and have just been sitting on him in our main league, hoping for this. I think this is probably best case scenario. Denver might have been a little bit better for me. Just
Denver
because
with those
of
weapons would have been much better.
For sure. But as far as offensive line and stuff goes, I think they'll be able to keep Cam upright. I just think there's too much talent ahead of him for him to finish as a top 12 quarterback this year. So I'll fold him on Cam, even though, hey, if you're in the XFL and listening, he's on the trade block. Come by.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bobby, is that the quarterback market is really strong this year. Like, there are 20 guys that could finish top 12.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
Sell him.
Yeah, exactly. He's a great sell right now.
Mhm.
I'm saying that's in his range of outcomes, and if we get 80 to 85% of like MVP Cam, that's enough to finish top 12.
Yep.
Let me ask y'all this. In redraft, are you looking at Cam at all?
I don't draft Patriots, but if I did, Yes, I think I would.
I feel like this is gonna bump him up into a range that I'm probably not comfortable, taking him.
You think he's actually somebody people are grabbing in earlier rounds, or is he like a late round guy that you're just taking a dart on?
I
I
don't
feel like
know.
he's still a dart because there's so many quarterbacks. I don't
Yeah.
think he's punched into that like upper tier of like I'll reach for this guy.
But I think he's gonna go in that Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford range. I mean,
Which he should not.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's too much for me. But I just feel like that's. I don't know, man. We just looked up at the Twitter account of the Patriots, and they were the.
It's true, the most.
They had the most,
They had the
4.5
most.
million. Cowboys had like 4 million.
Yeah. So
Um,
people love Cam too. Like I think
Yes.
most people love Cam. They're excited to see him back in
I've
the league.
already seen all these edits on Twitter of him in the uniform.
Dude, some of
and-
these uniform edits are incredible.
They're
Like they
crazy.
look like a real photograph.
Yeah, they're really good.
Shout out the Photoshop artist.
So people
You-
are excited about Cam. I mean, and I think we're gonna see that come, September, August
Re-
with the drafts.
Real quick, hold him or fold him. Real quick, does Cam bring the dad back? Hold him or fold him?
I'm folding that. I think he'll have something new.
I'm hoping he brings it back, but probably not. I'm sure there's some other new dance
Yeah.
that we'll find out about in
Yeah, he'll,
2
or he'll
years.
create it. You know?
He'll definitely bust that Superman back out. But let's jump to number 2 here. So, hold him or fold him. Kenyon Drake will be a top 10 running back in 2020.
This one's an easy hold for me. I've got Kenyon Drake probably. I haven't actually sat down and done the rankings, but I would say he's solidly in that 8 to 10 range for me, for sure.
I'm gonna hold as well, but I don't think there's a more riskier running back than Kenyon Drake. I just think the range of outcomes is all over the board. I think he could be a top 5 option, but also think that Chase Edmonds looked really darn good before he tore his hamstring. And so, I mean, if Kenyon Drake struggles at all out of the gate, I think they're going to let Chase Edmonds get a shot and get some run. And also, I'm interested in the I'm blanking on the
Benjamin.
Eno Benjamin. I like him. I know he was a 7th round pick, but I like him a lot. So I'd like to see what maybe he could do if he got a chance. But I don't know that Cliff is one of those guys that's going to lean on a running back. I feel like he's probably going to try and have a rotation out there and keep his guys fresh.
I think he likes Kenyon Drake throw to the point that they brought him back on the transition tag, which is not cheap. It's like 8.1 million.
Yeah, but that's a bargain. That was a no-brainer. I mean, I don't know who else was an option.
I mean, you're looking at some of these running back contracts though. Like I think that's like Lev Bell's up there, like around 10 million or so. So like Kenyon Drake's probably in the top 10 paid running backs now.
It's up there, yeah.
I mean, they could have easily let him walk and rolled with Chase Edmonds. So I agree. I think that Benjamin and Edmonds are intriguing, but I think this coaching staff really likes Kenyon Drake. So he'll get all the opportunity in the world.
Yeah, it's going to be his job to lose.
Bobby, you're the Kenyon Drake owner in the XFFL. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna fold the mess out of Kenyon Drake. I'm selling Kenyon Drake right now. The only game that Chase Edmonds had when he was really healthy and Kenyon Drake wasn't there yet, I guess David Johnson was actually hurt. Edmonds went 27 attempts, 126 yards for 3 touchdowns, also caught 2 for 24. I am a big Chase Edmonds believer. I think that he is going to be way more involved in the offense than the Drake truthers really hope that he's going to be. And I think he's going to emulate a little bit of the San Fran offense, and you're going to have some Mostert, you're going to have some Tevin Coleman, you're going to have some Jeff Wilson shares. So as much as I really want to just sell out Kenyon Drake that he's going to be a top 5 running back, and exactly what Adam said, while that is a extreme possibility, he could also be a top 20 to 25 running back just because of the system. I think he's talented, but I think that Cliff could, actually hold him back. One thing I will say, though, that maybe changes my mind is when you look at Drake's receptions, that's a pretty nice floor for him. That may support that RB1 for him there, but I still see him more as probably a top 15 running back.
And it's just a supercharged offense. That's the thing for me. We've talked about it all off season. This is an offense I want pieces of, and I think that with Kenyon Drake, in my mind, as the featured back there in Arizona, he's going to get so much work, passing work, rushing work, and that offense is just going to be electric. Addy, what you got?
He did have some. I mean, he had some huge weeks, but he had some bad weeks as well.
Yeah,
That offensive line was terrible. So that's
True.
the big piece of it. Like we've mentioned, is this the Cleveland of 2020 where they're getting
Yeah.
all this hype and they're undone by a terrible offensive line?
Mhm.
There were other things going on in Cleveland last year, but
But it
Cardinals-
can't hurt adding Hopkins to it.
Exactly, yeah.
So
And
I
think-
like it. I mean, I do like Drake. I'm just a lot of hype right now. A lot of like, oh, he's a for sure top 5 finish. I don't know. I mean, I'm still kind of scared. I'm probably gonna be one of the guys that I don't have a lot of just because I don't like investing. You're gonna have to invest an early like second or third round pick in
you'd
him.
rather go a different direction.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm probably going running back first and then receiver. And I'm
Alright.
probably gonna miss it on Drake.
All right.
I like
Who's
it.
next? Who's
Let's
next,
get-
Bobo?
Let's get to the next one here. So a little IDP action for y'all. Jordan Brooks will outsnap KJ Wright by the end of 2020.
Addy, go first on this one. This is tough.
I'm gonna go with Fold. I think Jordan Brooks is still a year away. I do think KJ Wright probably moves on after this year, just because he is getting up there. And they obviously, usually when you see moves like that, it's writing on the wall that they have, they have other things in mind. They're looking at contract situations, seeing who expires, and yeah, I'd say KJ Wright's either gonna be released or maybe his contract is up. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm not buying that this year.
Yeah, this is very similar for me to a Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert situation like we talked about with Johnny last week, in that I think Jordan Brooks is going to be a year away. What I've tried to keep in mind more and more is that we view he's a free agent, KJ Wright is,
So there
next
you go.
year.
So he's done.
So this will be his last year in Seattle. But what I've tried to keep in mind is we view these players and these teams through a very detached, kind of unbiased perspective. And these coaches, they have relationships with these players. So as we may see, well, Jordan Brooks is coming in, he's going to supplant this guy because he's better than him. We've seen it. Like Thomas Davis has followed now Ron Rivera back to Washington. Like, these relationships matter. And so we may think Jordan Brooks is a better player for the Seahawks in 2020, but that doesn't mean that he's going to get the opportunity. When these players have been there for a long time.
And KJ Wright was there when they won a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Right? So I mean, that stuff does mean something.
So it's like I would love to look at all of these new flashy players, rookies or players on new teams and new situations, and say they're clearly the better option. But it just doesn't always work that way. The NFL is still a relationship business. Bobby, I have a feeling, though, that you're going to be holding this. I'm folding as well.
We're going to go the big three-way and fold everybody. As much as I want to hold them, I really like Jordan Brooks. Shout out to Mike Wohlert on the Mic'd Up Pod, sponsored by the Big Three Networks. What an awesome pod that is. What a quick 20-minute listen. Jump in there if you've got a chance. And he's going through division by division right now, and it's super, super helpful, talking about IDP targets, not only for this year, but also for, upcoming years, who to pay attention to. And, even Mike said, pay a lot of attention to Jordan Brooks because they really think that he could be groomed to be the Bobby Wagner replacement. So I guess the key for me in this one is going to be Russell Wilson will have that team in some type of playoff contention. That division is going to be really good. You've got Arizona and you've got San Francisco to contend with. I don't think the Rams are going to make it this year, but when they're playoff bound, Wagner and Wright are going to be out there, which is going to limit Brooks. But Brooks is definitely the future for sure. I'm a big Brooks guy. So yeah, let's do a three-way fold there. So let's get to this next one.
Hey, what about Cody Barton?
Nope, sell Cody. No Barton.
No one named Cody is going to be a fan.
I remember we had a Bartman seg.
Did you say a Bartman, like Steve Bartman? I don't like Bartman in Chicago this year. He's going to catch too many foul balls.
Yeah.
All right, this next one is sponsored by Dynasty Sneeko, Bobby.
This one's for you, Dynasty Sneeko. So we're going to send this one directly to Mr. Adam, IDP.
Ready?
Terry McLaurin will be a wide receiver 1 in 2020. Addy?
Hell nah.
Yeah, this is way too rich for me.
I mean, maybe. but I'm not
It is
buying
in
it.
his range of outcomes.
Yes, it's definitely there. He is the
That's-
best option in the offense. I
Yes.
mean, I think if that happens, that you're saying that Haskins is taking a major step in year 2. And I don't know. I know there's been a lot of hype lately for him. I'm still cautious with it. Maybe it happens. I don't know. I'm not buying it. I'm definitely folding that.
I'm folding that. Here's what I would say. And again, love Terry McLaurin. Just don't love the situation. Don't love the surrounding talent. Don't love the quarterback. I think it's more likely he finishes outside the top 24 than he finishes inside the top 12. And that's nothing against Terry. Again, really sit down and think about all of these wide receivers. The wide receiver position is stupid deep this year.
It's crazy.
There are probably like 45 guys that could finish top 24. And so sometimes it's not a matter of, players not being good enough. It's sometimes players get squeezed out by the guys around them, and, maybe they're 4 or 5 points away from being a top 24 option. That's how close it is some years. So, no, I'm folding, as you would say, Bobby, folding the mess out of this.
Hey, boys, I got news for you. I'm going to be holding them this year
Oh, here he is.
because Kyle Allen's going to be the starting quarterback for the Washington unknown team.
That does not make it better. That does not make it better.
It's not good.
Not Kyle Allen, but I think Dwayne Haskins. I think we're selling him too soon. I believe in Rivera. I think Rivera is a great coach. I think you're probably safer with Rivera to look at a Thaddeus Moss who could be a sneaky little grab this year. And I'm not a Geist fan. I'm more of an Antonio Gibson guy. If you look in the past and you look and see who Rivera actually targets, he really loves these tight ends and he loves these running backs. But, dude, I think McLaurin, I think he could be a wide receiver 1. I know Gandy Golden's there. I know they also have
Steven Sims.
Yeah, Steven Sims, who got some targets. But I think McLaurin is just too good. Late in the season, he got quite a bit of targets from Haskins. I think one game he had 10, one game he had 12, another game he was pushing 10. So if they can just connect it all, McLaurin can take so many of these to the house. As much as I want to piss off Dynasty Sneeko, I think I'm going to hold it here.
All right. What do we got next, Bobo?
Hey,
Sorry.
Terry McLaurin's old as hell. I'll say that.
Is he really?
Yes, sir.
Was he a 4-year guy?
He's going to be 25 when the season starts, entering the second year.
Jeez, he's going to be getting AARP postcards here soon.
Throw some water on that Terry love. Why don't you just go marry Nico, Bobby?
Let's move on before Addy has a stroke.
Let's do it. So number 5, this one's one that I know y'all had a nice little agreement on a couple shows back. I actually listened to that the other day. But Christian Kirksey will finish 2020 as a top 15 linebacker.
This is really close because I'd say I've got him somewhere in my mind if he stays healthy, which is, of course.
That's all we're banking on here.
Yeah, this is assuming health for everybody. Let's not throw, any kind of
Let's assume
restrictions.
16 games.
Yeah, 16 games and health for everyone. Man, this is so close. I'm probably going to fold, but it is so close for me. I see him in that 16 to 20 range, maybe 17 or 18, just outside top 15.
Hold for me. If he plays 16, he's getting there. He's going to be a top 10 option this year.
The better question is going to
here
be, whose team is he going to be in the XFFL? Because I know he's in the
right. He's a
auction.
free agent.
Oh, yeah.
He's a free agent. Won't be on my team. Not any room for him.
Yeah, LBU and wide receiver.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I hold the mess out of that. Christian Kirksey, you look at that role he's going into with Blake Martinez, and Blake Martinez sucked. And if Kirksey can just stay healthy, he's got to be as good as Martinez, I would think. So, yeah, I love that. I would maybe even flirt with that LB1 category just because of the volume.
Yeah, I think he's going to be all over it, man. This year, I'm not last year, I think I got too sexy with my, who I wanted to be, who I wanted to be good and everything. The Tremaine, the Deions, the Roquans, all that stuff. The sexy guys.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
year, I'm all about the Schoberts, the Blake Martinez's,
Oh yeah.
the Kirksies,
Yeah.
the Justin Houstons, all these unsexy players.
Leighton
Vandy
Vander Esch.
sandwiches.
That's who I want, not LV. Hell, never that, Bobby. You know better than that.
By the way, Christian Kirksey is not a free agent in the XFFL. Nico has him.
Josh
he
is
released
worried.
him, I thought.
Because you know
Interesting.
Dynasty
Damn you.
Nico is going to be in our Slack like, oh, too bad I have Christian Kirksey. I think I traded him for like a ham sandwich.
Well, with that news, I take back. I am folding. He will finish outside the top 50, along with Terry McLaurin.
Yeah. we're fading everything
Oh,
that Dynasty Sneeko has.
Gosh, speaking of Dynasty Sneeko, let's get into this next one. Goodness gracious, what type of sode has this turned into? But Mecole Hardman finishes as a top 24 wide receiver in 2020.
Baby.
Yeah, that's a fold for me. Just because, yeah, he's not even the number one in his own team. I think is it in his range of outcomes? Yeah, sure, but
yeah,
no.
baby.
I like him as maybe a wide receiver 3, but not a top 24 guy. No way you're holding this.
Oh, baby. We love Mecole, baby. We love Mecole, baby.
I mean, he's gonna need a little bit of help, but if he surpasses Sammy, wheels up, baby.
He should surpass Sammy.
All this guy needs is targets. That's it. That's all he needs is targets. Because I mean, there's not many receivers in the league that did what he did with his touches. I saw something like if you extrapolated him out, like he'd be flirting with like 1,500 yards and just crazy numbers.
But is he going to get the targets though? With
No, he's
Travis
not.
Kelce,
He's not. He's not.
Tyreek?
But I mean, if he becomes that third banana there, I mean, you're looking at I think top 24
don't know.
finish. He's gonna have monster weeks.
Has a third option on the team though ever finished inside the top 24 at the wide receiver position?
Yeah, for sure. I'd say so.
We'll go back and look at that and see if that's actually happening.
I mean, we're talking. Think about the great offenses like the Broncos. When you had Julius Thomas, Wes Welker, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders. Like, there's 4 of them that were, great fantasy assets.
The Rams
for you.
year, Bobby. The Rams year were all those Rams receivers top 24 options.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, they were all being drafted as like top 24. Brandon Cooks, back when Cooks was good.
Tell me you're sorry.
I will not. So, yes, obviously, I've got Patrick Mahomes in our main league. I would love if Mecole was a top 24 option because that probably means Mahomes is throwing about 50 touchdowns again. Bobby, where are you coming down on this one?
I'm going to give you 3 words here why I fold them. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's going to see a lot of targets this year, and that's going to eat up some of Mecole's volume there. I think CEH could be Patrick Mahomes' new best friend. Going to be catching a lot out of the backfield. I'm not selling Sammy this year, which sounds ridiculous. But Sammy's, I think Andy Reid just wants to run the same recipe he ran last year and see if he can get another Super Bowl. Sounds crazy because Mecole is unbelievably talented. But
Sammy's a great best ball option, but God, can you imagine having him in an actual fantasy league? That would be maddening.
Yeah, I had him last year, Josh. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Mecole was the guy I added the most this offseason. In those 5 startup drafts I did, I came away with Mecole in 4 of them.
Kind of slept on. He was way up here, last offseason, and now he's just kind of forgotten.
Dude, in Dynasty, I don't think you can reach any higher, and I would still be okay with it because Sammy's going to be gone soon. Tyreek, I hope everything pans out great for the guy, but he does seem to be a little bit skeptical from time to time, so he could make another dumb decision, and you're looking at pretty quickly Mecole is the number 1 for a guy who threw 50 touchdowns in 2018 or whatever year it was.
And, Kelsey's going to be 31.
Yeah.
So I think that we've probably seen the best of him.
Yeah.
Tyreek gets banged up. We not to mention the off-field stuff. Yeah, I mean, I love him. I love Mecole.
I like that, Addy. All right, let's get to the next one. One of my favorite guys going into this year. So hold him or fold him. Jeremy Chin will be a top 12 safety.
Yeah, this is a little spicy, but this is a hold for me. I mean, Eric Reed was safety 1 or safety 2, depending on your platform last year. Yep. Chin is stepping right into that role. We saw the pictures floating around on Twitter this week. He's looking good. Yeah, I think I'm holding this for right now. I'm a Jeremy Chin believer.
Sir, you like that video of him?
Oh,
Who wouldn't
me.
like that video?
Wait.
What
Well,
heterosexual male would not like to
Yes,
see
sir.
Jeremy Chin's listening
Hey,
upper
yes,
body?
sir.
I tell you, one I liked about it a little bit more was Jeffrey Simmons.
Oh, wait.
Hot and bothered.
I'm about to like put you out in the yard. Our listeners are gonna be like, "What the hell is he on tonight?"
He's on that Blackberry farm.
Is this the beer you were wanting to try?
Yes, sir. Shout out to Blackberry Farm Brewery in Wallen, Tennessee.
There you go.
Big fan of your beer.
Shout out. We know you're a listener.
Come sponsor us. So yeah, Jeremy Chin, I'll hold that as well. Joshy Poo, I love that. You look at who's gone there in Eric Reed, and you look at Luke Kuechly. I don't know what LB he was last year. He had to have been a top 5 LB. But yeah, Jeremy Chin. Not only did those videos do it for me in July, but I think his production in September and October are going to be real nice too.
Yes, sir. Hey, Chin ain't the only body part you're thinking about,
Oh yeah,
right?
right.
Josh?
So you're holding. I just want to be sure that we're all on the same.
Oh, I'm
page
holding.
here.
I'm caressing.
I was gonna say you're holding something.
All right, let's get to Adam's
Who's next?
little dark horse that he tweeted about yesterday or day before with Joey the Tooth. Shout out to our buddy for this one. But D
Yeah,
Ford,
Speaking of pods,
Yeah, congrats, Joey. Launched the IDP update with Joey the Tooth today.
also on the network.
Yep, Network Pod
Yep.
as well. Co-production with IDP guys. Dropped the trailer. I think the first episode's coming next week. He's been kicking around ideas for it, and the concept he has for the first actual episode is dynamite. You do not want to miss it.
He's a smart dude. It's not going to fail.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
going to be amazing. Yeah,
And
definitely
Joey,
check it out.
I will not sell you my 1970 Chevy C10. So if you're listening, sorry, buddy.
And you know he is, so you just broke his heart.
Mm-hmm.
He can cry. It'll be
You
all
will
right.
never get this. You will never get this.
So,
Many voices tonight.
Speaking of trucks, let's go to a Ford here, a terrible truck. D Ford will finish 2020 as the DL2, as a DL2. Sorry, not the DL2, but a DL2.
That would be way too spicy if it was the DL.
It would be real spicy. Joshy, let me get your take first.
This is interesting.
I'll go first. I'm going to sell that. I love D Ford. I think he does have a great opportunity, but still a lot of talented guys there. Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead. I know Buckner's gone and everything, but still Solomon Thomas. You got Nick Bosa. Too many mouths to feed there, I think, for D Ford to be a DL2. I do think he's going to be a great DL3, probably. DL2 is just probably too high of a reach for me.
Yeah, I would agree. It's just the snaps for me. That's really all it is. We know he was very, very productive in the limited snaps that he got. I just don't think he's going to get the snaps to get into that DL2 range. So I'm folding.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to guess go against the grain here and hold him. I really like D Ford. I mean, nowhere to force Buckner. They're gonna have a need for some more pass rush in there. So yeah, I mean, last year he got like 222 snaps. We need him to get 600. That's all we need out of this guy. This is a guy, he had the best sack rate in the league. So for every 35 snaps, Ford recorded a sack. The next closest was Shaq Barrett, who led the league in sacks. Every 50 snaps, he would get a sack. So he crushed it. I mean, he there wasn't anyone even close to D Ford. So we just need the snaps to get to that 500, 600 range, and I think that D Ford is seriously going to have a chance at 10 to 12 sacks. So all about it.
But
Do you think?
And the price is right, like you mentioned.
Yes. the price is
ADP
great.
ADP right here on IDP guys is 37. That's a no-brainer. I mean,
agree.
the upside's there.
The return is definitely there, but I guess the argument would be the snaps have to jump. That's a huge jump. That's a 2.5, 3 times jump, and the efficiency. He probably was so effective with those snaps because he was fresh.
Of course,
He's not
right.
Playing,
There was we had a nice little discussion about this, and that's a great point. I think we see this with like Carl Lawson, guys that are using these rotational roles. Yeah, it's got to be a nightmare to be an offensive lineman and be winded and have this guy that's completely fresh come out and come at you as hard as he can go. That's got to be tough. But 222 snaps, to me, that's an outlier. That's too few for him to get. That can't be the expectation there in San Fran. They have to want. I mean, they paid this guy big money. They have to want to get that snap count to around the 500, 600 mark. There's no way that they're going to be happy with just 300 snaps out of D Ford, regardless of how effective he is. That's not good enough.
Well, especially this year too, because now you've got Buckner gone, you've got a rookie in Javon Kinlaw. They're going to be looking to have a veteran presence get more snaps. So yeah, sure, I think the snaps will increase, but man, losing Buckner and then adding a rookie is great. But I just know that I don't know that it's great for 2020. I don't know. I just see Buckner and Nick Bosa probably took a lot of the double teams and a lot of the attention away from him. So. Hey, speaking of that, trade talk for 2 seconds. What'd y'all think about my move this week? I moved Aaron Donald and Chris Herndon for Zach Bond and DeForest Buckner. Joshy, what'd you think?
I thought it was nice. I mean, we're big DeForest Buckner fans. I like what you said that, Donald's going to see a ton of double teams because that defensive line there has lost some important pieces. Zach Bond's an interesting flyer. Chris Herndon, I think, is a nice tight end flyer as well. But, I think if I'm choosing between those two, I'd probably rather have Zach Bond. And the money was the same. This is RSO league, so there's contracts involved. And Buckner and Donald were making roughly the same, right?
Yeah, $1 million or so in between. But yeah, close enough.
Close. So it wasn't like a salary dump in any kind of way, shape, or form. I don't think it was like a huge slam dunk one way or the other, but I definitely liked it for you.
Yeah, Addy.
I liked it. I think I like Aaron Donald the best, but they are, they're 4 years apart in age, right? Isn't Buckner going to be 25, 26, where Donald's going to be 28, 29, somewhere in that range?
Pushing 30, I think.
Yeah. So I kind of like it in Dynasty, but yeah, I think that's a fair trade.
It is always hard to sell Donald. I do think that Bond probably isn't as far off maybe as people want to think from having a pretty substantial IDP input there in New Orleans. And then my thing with Chris Herndon too is just I'm so tired of waiting on Adam Gase to ever produce a tight end. Yeah. I'm just kind of over that whole thought. But anyways, yeah, that was a quick little trade target. But
just a little bit of context here on D4 because I was curious, where did he end up in last year in our RSO league? He was DN 71, scored 68 points. So it can happen. I mean, if he gets the snaps and the efficiency stays up, but just wanted to give a little context as like where he would be coming from to jump into that, what did we say, DL2, so top 24?
But we know that, I mean, but we should expect, I don't think anyone's going to expect him to, are y'all expecting him to have 400 snaps this year?
Who, D Ford?
Yeah.
See, I agree with you that they paid a hefty price. He's got a huge contract, but I think they kind of see him as a pinch hitter. Because I think if that was not the case, we would have seen it last year. I don't know what was standing in the way there. I know Buckner's gone, but Kinlaw's there now.
And in my opinion, he went into the year banged up. They knew it. They had Nick Bosa. They had the depth. They had the crazy depth to deal with it. And so they're like, well, we don't have to rush this guy. We saw him in the Super Bowl. The dude got like 50 to 60% of the snaps in the Super Bowl. So he got his playing time then when they needed it. But they didn't have to have him this year, right? They were fine without him. The defense was dominant without him. But he was like a luxury piece. He's not really a luxury piece anymore. If they wanna, if that defense wants to get back to the level it was last year, they're gonna really need D4 to step up. So I mean, I just don't see. I mean, I expect them to have an expectation of 500 snaps for him at least.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing the snaps double, I think I would be surprised, and that gets them up to like what 440.
But doubling when you say double, just doubling off a small number like that, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd be surprised. I'm gonna be shocked if he has less than 400 snaps.
We will be tracking this one throughout the season.
Anyone want to bet? Anyone want to bet? No, live bet?
Definitely don't want to bet.
Damn right.
Let's get Adam off D Ford and let's get to this next guy who I'm really big on for 2020. So Chuck Clark will finish 2020 as a safety 1. So I'll start this one, and I'm going to hold that. You've got 2 young linebackers there in Baltimore in Patrick Queen and in
Malik Harrison.
There you go. Thank you, Adam. And I think Chuck Clark is going to be that box guy this year. I think he's going to play down near the line. I think he's going to rack up a bunch of tackles. So I think Chuck Clark may be, the more I think about it, kind of my dark shot to be. Adam asked a couple episodes ago, who's going to be the next big one? And I think Chuck Clark could take I think he produced really well last year. I think he could take an even bigger step this year.
Yeah, it's a fold for me, but it's definitely in the range of outcomes for Chuck Clark. There's just other guys that I like better this year, but love him as a safety too, just not a top 12 guy.
Yeah, fold for me as well. I like
Wow.
him, but
Wow, jeez.
he's not, he's not jumping off the screen to me.
Oh, I like
His name's Chuck.
Again, for context, he was safety 33 last year in RSO.
I got you.
Didn't
Well,
get to wear the green dot, but they had no one there.
Nobody.
So.
That's true. Very true. But you guys are both wrong. So
This is a guy that we
let's
talked
hold Chuck.
about. Yeah, so this is a guy we talked about just a second ago here, Bobby. Who's next?
Yeah, so I don't know if I came up with this one or you guys did, but Damian Harris will get 150 carries in 2020. They're
Yeah, let Addy start
whispering
with this one.
sweet nothings to each other.
He's the Damian Harris truther, I think, in this group.
What's the what was it, Bobo? What are we doing?
We were telling secrets in class. We were sharing that one.
Damian Harris will get 150 carries in 2020.
Oh yeah, I think I already pretty much answered this. Yeah, this is the back I want this year. The price is perfect.
Okay, so tell me how many carries does he get? Does he get 200 carries?
175.
Okay.
So, Sony's gonna get. They're gonna try and trot Sony out there once he's back to full health, but it's gonna be Damian Harris. He's gonna be the guy.
Yeah, I'm holding this one as well. I think that's the Patriots running back to own. I think he's being slept on right now, big time. So yeah, I'm with Addy. I'm holding this one for sure.
Okay. Well, let's just go three-way then and hold it again. I don't really want to own these guys, but triple hold sounds fun. So let's get to this next IDP. So we're going to pick one here. This is a little pick, hold 'em or fold 'em. So pick Willie Gay or Kenneth Murray as a lock as an LB2 for 2020.
I'll
So
tell
you
you
gonna-
what better. I'll hold both these guys as LB2s. in 2020.
Ooh, Joshua.
I love it, and I'm right there with you. I crafted that one up because I believe it too. I mean,
Think about the Chiefs linebackers.
he's got
There's
the best.
nobody.
He's got truly the best
He
situation.
really does.
I mean,
we love all these guys like Simmons and Queen and Murray, but Willie Gay, oh my God, is walking
you're
into
talking
a primo
about-
situation.
you're talking about Anthony Hitchens and Damian Wilson.
Yeah. It's about
Come on,
like
dude.
it's about like the guys that are in for the Chargers.
It's true. Yeah,
Jatavis
these are two
and-
guys probably in the best situation, and Jatavis is gone. So who is it now? It's
Well, you got Perriman there. You still got
Perriman, yeah.
you got
Right.
Tranquil. I mean, I'm still a little leery
Yeah.
of it. I mean, just because we know that that dude likes to mess around with the rotations. So, but I've really come around on Murray a lot. I could see him just this being the guy that they just stick with, let him get basically 90 to 100% of the snaps, and yeah, we see like linebacker 2 numbers immediately.
it's not fair for us to paint Kenneth Murray with the Chargers linebacker brush,
Right.
Because
Mhm.
it
They're not
had
the same.
nothing to do with those guys that came before him,
Yeah.
and he's a different player and probably a much better player.
And this is a different team. I think
Mhm.
we're looking at Murray's going to come in and immediately be a leader of this team.
Yeah.
Along with Derwin James and Bosa and Ingram, like he's going to be counted on immediately and be the voice of that defense.
And freaking Justin Herbert. The offense is going to be different.
Exactly, young. I mean, so he'll have a chance to make a name for himself in the locker room. I like him a lot.
I love it. Bobby, what about you?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I love this as well. Shout out to our boy Johnny the Greek for that Willie Gay take. He was high on this one pretty early on, and I've been a Kenneth Murray fan for a long time just because of his background and everything. But let's buy both of those guys as an LB2 for 2020. That's a big three-way right now. So
That's right.
let's get to this next guy that Adam is just chomping at the bit to talk about. So Chase Young has 10 plus sacks in 2020. Hold him or fold him.
Oh, I'm holding the mess out of this one, boys. I think Chase Young could push 15 sacks.
Yes,
I know
sir.
there are a lot of bodies along that defensive line in Washington. I don't know. I'm rising on Chase Young this offseason. I just think he is going to dominate. And 10 plus sacks, I think, is the floor for him.
Yeah, I think we saw it last year with San Fran. Bosa walked into a loaded defensive line. Similar situation here in Washington, but make no mistake, Chase Young is the best piece already of that line.
Absolutely.
So that's the dude that they gotta have out there the most, and I think you're gonna see that translate into sacks.
It's like we're wondering, how is it going to sort out? How's the rotation? It's going to sort itself out around Chase Young.
Yes.
It's going to be Chase Young, and then
we'll see how it shakes out. Yeah.
You know, like that's how it's going to go. So, Bobby, you going big three-way here?
Absolutely. We'll just double down. Big three-way again. That's an easy smash that button. So let's go ahead and jump to the next one. Deontay Johnson, who's a pretty spicy name in the Twitter sphere right now, is going to finish 2020 as a wide receiver 2.
Fold, and people need to stop.
Yeah,
people need to stop with this.
It's getting. Can we get Juju to be a wide receiver 2?
Seriously,
please? That would be great. So yeah, I'm folding on that one as well. The Deontay Johnson hype is out of control. He's not even the best receiver on his own team. Like, let's calm down. I know there are some truthers out there who are going to be in our mentions, but Juju is better than Deontay Johnson.
Yeah, I like Deontay Johnson, but I mean, I don't know. It's been a weird offseason of hype, and also we don't know what he's going to look like with Ben. We don't know what Ben's going to look like. I know that there's been some nice videos coming out of him looking normal and decent,
Looking
but
shaved.
Right, but he is 39,
Exactly.
38.
Coming off of, Tommy John surgery. We haven't really
So-
seen this before with quarterbacks.
We
It's
hope he
just-
can stay healthy, but if not, he's going to be back in a situation with one of those crappy quarterbacks.
And keep in mind, too, like, top 24 wide receivers. There's 32 teams in the NFL.
yeah.
So that means that 8 teams, if you have just one wide receiver from every team make the top 24, 8 teams are not going to have. And if teams double up, that means there could be 10 or 12 teams that don't have a top 24 wide receiver. Mm-hmm. So to suggest that you're going to have the Steelers as one of those 2 teams, yeah, it could absolutely happen. Yes, that's in the range of outcomes, but I just don't see it. I would peg Juju as, maybe a top-end wide receiver too.
And what about James Washington and Chase Claypool that they brought in? What about those dudes? I was kind of impressed with Washington at moments last year.
Eric Ebron.
And Eric Ebron.
Let's not forget, a lot of weapons there on the offensive side.
Yeah, I fold this one as well. The only reason I fold this, I think Deontay Johnson sounds it. I think he's going to have a good career, but I don't think Ben plays 16 games is what, I think Ben plays 8, honestly. Ben has just not been healthy the last couple years, and I think Duck Hodges is going to be throwing balls to Deontay Johnson before the end of 2020. So let's get to another little spicy New England Patriots take. So N'Keal Harry, shout out to our boy Fantasy Guru Bros for this one. But the 102 in 2019, N'Keal Harry finishes 2020 over 800 yards receiving.
So, again, context. I have a hard time with these numbers sometimes, but last year, to give you an idea, 802 yards for Deebo Samuel, 804 yards for Larry Fitzgerald. So we're saying, can N'Keal Harry have the season that Deebo and Larry Fitzgerald had last year in terms of yardage? And with Cam Newton in the building, I'm gonna hold this because I do like what Addy said. Edelman's going to be great. I think he's going to be that nice slot receiver that Cam can throw to. Cam's never been a big down-the-field passer. But, yeah, I think if Cam's healthy again, I'm assuming health here for Cam. But I think that a Larry Fitzgerald in 2019 type of season is absolutely possible for N'Keal Harry, a highly drafted receiver that's going to be the number 2 option on a Cam Newton-led Patriots team. So I'm holding this.
Yep. I mean, N'Keal is his Kelvin Benjamin, another receiver that can't separate. Sorry, Ben.
Devin Funchess.
Ben is just taking all sorts of bullets right now. He's going to wake up and not be happy with us.
No, but I think that 800 to like 900 range. I think that's right at him. I mean, because we saw him Kelvin Benjamin put up some 1,000-yard seasons. That's kind of what I see him. I think N'Keal's And he's probably going to be the first or second option on that team.
Yeah, he's got to. Mohamed Sanu, what is he going to do?
Yeah,
They've got to throw the ball to somebody. So, I mean, just kind of by default, Harry's going to have to do something. So I'll buy the 800 yards. I'll hold them. I just really don't want to. So, anyways, let's get to another kind of up-and-coming IDP. And I'll give you a little actually, the question itself will answer my question, or my answer. Sorry, it's getting late. Charles Omenihu will be the top scoring defensive end on the Texans in 2020. I'll go first. I'm going to hold the mess out of this. Not only did Charles Omenihu retweet me or like my tweet a while back, which I really dug. Shout out Charles. That was rad.
The heart of this.
There it is.
I know you're out there listening. But JJ Watt just can't stay healthy. I know, in redraft I've been really fading JJ, but especially in Dynasty, I've even been pushing him further and further back. But Omenihu, I can't remember the stat that I put out there, but his snap per pressures rate was actually really, really good last year. So hopefully he can stay on the field. I hope JJ can too, just because both of them will be fun to watch. But yeah, I'll hold it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm holding it too. I know we're assuming health for everyone. That's really hard with JJ Watt, just because he's like a Frankenstein monster at this point with all the surgeries he's had. But this is less to do with health, I think, and more to do with every year there are these surprise guys that come out of nowhere, and you're like, who is this guy? And if you pay attention, especially at the end of a previous season, you can see who has the potential to do that sometimes. And I love Omenihu for this kind of breakout role, especially there along the Texans' defensive line. So I'll hold it.
So you're saying that he's going to be the DN1 by the end of the year for that team?
He's going to be the highest scoring, defensive end for the Texans.
I'm a big fan. I've gotten a lot of him this offseason as well. But I still think J.J. Watt is elite. And even though he does struggle with the health, I mean, if he we assumed health for all these guys. And
I'm assuming health.
We got to assume health for
16
J.J. Watt.
games for both, yeah.
Whoa, man, J.J. Watt is still just as dominant as the top dogs in the league as far as being a pass rusher goes. Still up there in pressures. He's gonna get another. He's gonna have another 10-sack season if he stays healthy. So. I'm all about J.J. Watt. I think he's a nice value, actually. This is about the time I start liking these guys.
Mm-hmm.
You're going white bread, mayonnaise sandwiches
here.
Sure. All the safe options.
Classics.
No, you're most likely right. This is me. I think Bobby and I are kind of taking a swing here on a guy.
Hey, listen, he was good to the brand. I get it. He's one of our MVPs. Omenihu,
Joshua
Kalu, and then we got Fred Warner's dad.
Yeah. That's the kind of universe, the Big Three cinematic universe here. So
miss you, senior.
Yeah, come around. Don't be afraid to give us.
Love for you to follow us again sometime.
Yeah, sliding those DMs.
Oh, geez.
Bobby, I love this next one here. What do we got?
Oh yeah. So hold 'em or fold 'em. The top 3 QBs in 2020 will be Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and Kyler Murray in any order.
Yeah, this is an easy hold for me. These are my top 3 guys. Now it's close. There are guys like Deshaun Watson, Dak Prescott that could easily sneak into that top 3, but this is a hold for me.
Jared Goff.
I don't know, boys. We're acting like it's just a chalk top 5. I don't agree with it. There's someone we are underestimating. Tommy Brady.
Yeah, Brady could sneak in there.
Brady. I'm calling it now. Top 3 finish this year.
All right, so you're folding this, I guess.
Fold. And I could even see Dak. I don't know that Kyler's the answer there at 3. I think Dak is probably my new 3.
We might as well be the same person, because that's going to be my top 3: Lamar, Mahomes, and Dak Prescott.
That's probably my top 3, and then I think I have Brady 4, Kyler 5. Honestly.
The only reason I'm fading Kyler some, I think they're going to run the ball more. They actually have a decent running attack there between Kenyon Drake and Chase Edmonds, and I think that's going to have Kyler fading a touch. Kyler hasn't thrown the ball probably a ton to Deshaun yet this year. So sure, Kyler will be a top 5 guy probably for me, but man, look at CD, Amari,
Jarwin,
Gallup, Jarwin. Oh my gosh, goodness
Zeke,
gracious,
Pollard,
Zeke,
O line. That's dumb.
filthy. Anyways, okay, yeah, fun stuff. Did he ever sign? Speaking of that,
Yes.
okay,
Dak
Yes, he signed the franchise tag.
so he went from 880,000 a year to what did he go to? What was
31.
32
nice?
million.
That's a little bump. I'd probably sign. Yeah.
Nice little
I think I'd
brace.
do that and that's what we talked about. Jerry knew that Dak would sign that because he's made
Oh, you don't want the 31 million?
yeah, you're gonna take it. You've made $800,000 up to this point in your career, so you're gonna sign that.
He's made more money from Gatorade or
Yeah.
he was signed by somebody.
For sure.
Yeah, he's definitely made more off sponsorships, I'd say.
100%.
Shout out to our boy Rick Pitino. He was always a big sponsorship guy too.
Yep.
So
shout out old Rick.
Yes, sir.
hey, I got a Rick
Quick
Pitino.
Rick.
Yeah, the old crypt keeper from Louisville.
Sorry, I really got off on a tangent there for a second in my mind. Number 17. This one goes out to Adam. But Ifedi Odenigbo will have 10-plus sacks in 2020.
So 2019, just for reference, he had 7.
And that was on, I think, like 400 snaps, if that. I don't have the stuff pulled up right now, but yeah, he didn't have a very high snap count. No more Everson Griffin, no more Linval Joseph. Yes. I mean, 10 is a stretch, but I'm not going to be surprised if he gets it. I think realistically it's probably more like 8 to 9, but I think 10's that's there. I'm gonna hold.
Yeah, I'm
10.
I'm holding it as well.
I'm gonna say exactly 10.
Yep. I think
Yep.
that's you get more playing time, less competition for sacks. I mean, yeah, I think it's probably safer to take the under, but why not? Let's go with 10. I'm holding
Very
it.
efficient. Doubt he's that efficient, but I mean, yeah, I agree.
Yep. Love it. I think the biggest thing is what Adam said. Those two big names being gone is going to give him quite a bit more jump there. So let's get to the last one. Shout out to our boy Peyton here for the Hold'em and Fold'em number.
Number 18.
Number 18 here. So pick one, boys. Hold'em or Fold'em. DJ, as in David Johnson, or Todd Gurley as a top 12 running back. You can hold one of these boys. Which one's you holding?
I'm folding both of them. I like both of them as running back 2 options, but neither as a top 12.
I'm gonna hold DJ. I think Bob is gonna try and save face and just make sure he looks.
Bob is in Bill O'Brien, not as in Bobby.
Oh yeah, right. Yes, exactly. Bad Bob.
I'm also going to save face in a minute, but continue.
What's Bobby saving face about here?
Yeah, well,
giving Gurley $37 million or whatever it is.
41, Josh.
Yeah, I'm
Watch him out.
Sorry, I was selling you short.
Jesus, Bob. Good Bob. Yeah, I mean, I think David Johnson, they're going to run him into the ground. Bill O'Brien saw that he was getting roasted all over Twitter for that trade, so yeah, he's going to. I mean, 300 carries incoming for David Johnson. He's just a great volume play for this next year. Todd Gurley, I am folding. Todd Gurley, you need to sell after the first 4 games because he's probably going to start out hot, but then that knee's going to start.
Knee's going to start to swell.
Yeah, so get out of that early.
This is really hurtful, guys. Hurtful way to finish this. Finish this segment.
Would be very sad right now.
I don't even know that I want to hold or fold here. I just may fold the whole podcast here. Just fold it all.
Bobby just turns off the light in the laundry room and walks out.
I don't know. I think with DJ, Duke Johnson's going to be a little bit irritating. I don't know. I think this is kind of a side note, but for the Texans, I think I'd probably buy Will Fuller and Brandon Cooks right now. And maybe Randall Cobb. It sounds ridiculous, but if you need some late flyers for some flexes, I don't know. I don't really mind any of those guys at their ADP right now. I mean, they're really, really late. So, but I think that Houston's going to be behind a lot. And they're going to be throwing the ball, and I don't think David Johnson's going to be on the field as much. So I'll probably buy Gurley here just because I'm paying him so much money. He's going to have to do something.
There you go. Yeah, that's yeah. That
But-
same face should have been applied to you.
This will be hold or fold. Hold or fold. DJ will be on my team at the end of 2020. I'm going to hold that.
Wow, what?
I'm going to hold it.
Who has DJ in that
I
league?
have DJ.
Oh,
Is there something I don't know going on here?
Uh-oh, Joshy.
You put Kenyon Drake on the block. Let's just do a swapsy.
Check that inbox. All right, let's do these quick hits real quick so we can get to the end of the sode and talk about our ranks for a minute. So some quick hits. Hold or fold Frank Gore over 500 rushing yards in 2020.
I'm going to hold it just because why not? Like Frank Gore, Adam Gase, you know, because he's in with the Jets now, right? Am I making this up?
Yes.
Addie's swinging his hat around. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Michael Gallup. Yeehaw.
I'm gonna hold Frank Gore with 500 rushing yards. Damian Williams had 500 rushing yards. Royce Freeman had 496. Why not?
I think it stops here with Gore.
You think so?
Please make it stop here with Gore, Adam. Actually, it's Adam Gase.
That's the bad Adam.
Yeah, let's hold him.
We're looking
You're the worst, Adam.
We're looking at Gore 2K, I think.
Yeah. Gore,
Yeah.
okay. It's gonna be a gory end, however it comes.
This one's for Adam as well. So Tom Brady has 40 touchdowns and over 4,500 yards in 2020.
Ooh, double hold,
I'm
baby.
gonna double fold, but yeah, it could happen. But no, that's a little rich for me.
Career year and coming to be a second best year of his career. I'm telling you, boss.
Has nothing to do with the team that he came from as far as Josh's answer there. But I'll hold. Gosh, 40 touchdowns is a lot. I'll fold the 40, but I'll hold the 4,500 yards. He's
Hey,
got some freaking talent.
hey, he's tossed 50 before.
Hey, what are the odds that Tyler Johnson is the wide receiver 2 on that team by the end of the year?
Zero.
Bobby, what's
Any
going on?
chance you slurps?
I mean, if maybe if Mike
Godwin.
Evans or something, you know.
If one of them dies in a plane crash, maybe. But
Josh, don't.
don't put that out there. Not right now, Josh. We don't need this.
Okay, let's just go ahead and move on after that. So, quick fold for Brady's touchdowns, but then I'll hold the yardage. So, hold or fold Traven Howard will finish 2020 getting more than 60% of
This
the
one's for
snaps
Bobby.
for the Los Angeles Rams.
I'm folding just because I don't think he'll get that much work this early in his career. But he's an interesting dart throw for sure.
What was
Josh,
it? What's he going to finish?
More than
60% of his
60%
snaps. Josh, who else is going to get the snaps?
Yeah.
Who are you going to give them to? Huh?
Old
John Johnson? You
Brown.
going to move John Johnson to inside
let's
linebacker?
let's move John Johnson down into the box. Why not?
Yeah, I'm kind of, well, could this be like, you know, this could be a prime spot for a veteran to land, you know? But why not? Let's say, let's say, yeah, you're right. There's no one there. I mean, I'm not a Micah Kaiser believer.
Kenny Young, Troy
Kenny Young.
Reader. Ugh.
I don't have enough confidence to pick any of those guys. So yeah, let's say, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
He's got the most upside of the group, I would imagine.
Heck yeah. Let's hold the mess out of that. So, quick hit real quick right here. Jeffrey Simmons finishes as a top 3 defensive tackle. So, not defensive ends, but let's say defensive tackle specific leagues, he finishes as a top 3 defensive tackle.
Oh, baby. I've seen the picture. That's all I need to see.
You were talking about chin earlier and other body parts. I think there's another body part being
stimulated
here beside your brain.
This one is maybe my second most favorite picture of the offseason, behind the A.J. Brown one we saw a few weeks ago.
I love that, Addy. I'm going to hold it as well. You know, look at Jarrell Casey getting shipped off. Simmons is going to start the year. His snaps are going to be high. Man, I think top 3 defensive tackle is a possibility. Why not, Joshy?
I'll say top 5, but I'm gonna fold top 3.
Oh, geez, we're splitting hairs here. All right, pick one team here to make the playoffs in 2020: New England or Tampa Bay.
Tampa Brady. Tampa Brady. Yeah, Tampa Bay for me.
Tampa Brady, that's so good.
Hey, Bobby? I totally forgot. Leonard Floyd is in L.A. now.
Yep, I like that. I like Leonard Floyd.
I was just looking up our lads, the depth chart. I totally
Leonard
forgot.
Floyd net.
Yeah.
That's what I about said. That's
what?
tough. I said Leonard Floyd net.
The running back for Jacksonville, Josh.
That's right.
Yeah, he is. Ashawn Robinson is as well. And, yeah. whatever.
That defense is kind of a mess.
He's cheap. He's dirt cheap. We've seen. I mean, how many times have we seen it? When you
And
play next to
Dominican
Aaron, when you play next to Aaron
Dante
Donald,
Fowler.
good things seem to happen.
That's very true. Michael Brockers is back, which I don't hate, honestly.
Yeah, he's fine.
So if you're picking
Continuity.
you're picking Tampa Bay to go to the playoffs over.
Oh, no doubt. Tampa Bay is going to own this 2020.
Boys,
2021.
I'm taking New England. That's a difficult division for Tampa Bay. You're going to come out with Drew Brees. You're going to compete with Matt Rule.
Yeah, that was my one. I was timid about choosing them just because of that. They definitely have the tougher division.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it.
I just don't like betting against Belichick. So, there you go. All right,
but now 7 teams get in, from each division. So
that helps.
Right.
But I still like the New England Patriots there. So, last of the serious quick hits, and then we'll do a little fun one. But CeeDee Lamb is a wide receiver 1 in Dynasty, whatever year, before Jerry Jeudy.
This one's a really good one. Oh man, no, I'm gonna say I'm gonna hold it because the Broncos just don't have the quarterback right now in my mind that can make Jerry Jeudy a wide receiver 1. So I'm still taking CeeDee Lamb. I like CeeDee Lamb. I think they're both going to be great, but I think if Dak stays in Dallas, that is such a nice setup for him. Like we were talking about in our Slack today. This may be where you got this from, Bobby, but I think CeeDee Lamb makes Amari Cooper the wide receiver 2 on his own team by the end of next season.
I agree though with you. I actually have CeeDee Lamb ahead of him in Dynasty, ahead of Amari.
Why can't we think about Amari Cooper as a wide receiver 2 on his own team? Like, that's okay, guys.
Because he's had some 50-point games, Josh.
Yeah, and he's making $100 million. And I get it.
And then he follows him up with 2-point games.
Exactly.
People.
Yeah.
Like, maybe he's just been miscast his whole career. He's not a wide receiver 1 for your team. He's the best wide receiver 2 on your team in the entire NFL.
Yeah.
He's the Tremaine Edmonds of the wide receivers for Dallas.
And he has, in fairness to Amari, he's had, we like Dak as a fantasy quarterback, but I don't know that he's the best, passing quarterback for receivers.
He's not.
And so he's had Dak, and then he had Derek Carr. So that's not the best situation for a receiver. But
it's not the worst either, though.
It's not the worst, right.
You shouldn't have games where you're consistently getting 2 points.
Yeah.
If you're capable of getting 50.
Yeah, listen, I am not an Amari fan. I don't know that I've ever owned Amari in any format.
I think I got him in our first ever XFFL auction and gave him $35 million or something.
Traded him.
Yeah,
I might have had him and traded him or something like that. But but the more I've been watching Jeudy, the more I've been falling in love with him. Dude is a route running god, and I actually do kind of like Drew Lock. He's got, just like Dallas. You're looking at an offense that's just as loaded as some of the best in the league. So yeah, I like Lock. I like Jeudy. I'm probably gonna go Jeudy. So I'm probably gonna fold that statement.
So I figured out today where I come down on Lock because we were talking about having this debate earlier. In my mind, he's a lot like Jacoby Brissett. He's just good enough to get a chance, but just not good enough to hold the job. I think he's going to be replaced next offseason because the Broncos will probably be in the mix, but they won't be sold on him as the long-term option and replace him. I don't think he's a bust by any means, but I do think he'll get replaced.
I don't know that we've seen enough on him yet. What have we seen him, play really? A half a season?
Yeah, that's true. It is not a large sample size.
Could Drew Lock be better than Gardner Minshew?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Gardner either. I think I'd put Gardner in the same boat.
Gardner can support, fantasy receivers, though, as we've seen. So I think Drew Lock can do a lot of the same. I think he'll be slinging it.
I think he's destined to be the best backup quarterback in the league.
The reason I probably pick Lamb is because I think that Jeudy and Sutton are going to play the outside while KJ Hamler probably will fill into the slot. But I think CD will probably start in the slot earlier on in his career, whereas you're going to have the CB1 on, either Gallup or on Amari probably. So, you look at Cole Beasley, you look at Randall Cobb, even, you could compare him to Jason Witten. A lot of these receivers that are over the middle of the field, Dak really likes. So I think CD, I think he could really excel earlier on in his career than people think. And I even think I like Lamb really for redraft, honestly. I like him for 2020. I know that's ridiculous and I have him on my team, but I took him there for a reason.
One more point I'll say about Locke in Denver. Okay, so if he isn't the answer and we find out this year that he's not, I mean, do you guys not think that Elway is going to go out and find a quarterback that's ready immediately? Like Aaron Rodgers, I could see at the end of this year that being a weird situation.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what Elway does.
Absolutely.
He goes out and gets these guys that are already established.
Flacco, Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Yep.
So I don't know. I could see it. I think you're right. I mean, I'm not like a huge Lock believer, but I just don't think that we know enough or have enough information yet to call him, a bust or say that he's not the answer. But I agree. I think he's got a short leash, and if he's not the answer, I trust that Elway's going to get someone in there quickly.
Otherwise, Elway's job is kind of on the line here.
That's a good point, Josh. Yeah, it's not like Elway can sit back and just kind of take a 500 season to the house and think that he's cush for next year as well.
He brought them a championship. He's obviously a franchise legend, but at a certain point, like, you have to deliver results in the role that you're in. I just don't think you can hold that role indefinitely and not deliver results, no matter who you are.
Well, speaking of hold, let's get to the last one. So hold 'em or fold 'em, and this goes to our boys in the XFFL. But Adam, Josh, or Bobby will win the XFFL in 2020.
I'm holding it, baby. Big three. We control the league, so we're going to make sure that one of us is bringing home that ring at the end of the season.
That's right. It's my year!
Let's let Bobby have one. We've already got one, Addy.
Oh, my year again!
That's your year again. He needs a ring for his other hand.
Nah, it's time. We're going to hold the mess out of that. It's, shout out to my boy Jim. If you're listening to Jim, I got an article teed up for you. It'll be coming the next week or so. Mr. Nah, I'm good. And it's going to be a tribute to Jim and just his, lack of just trades and just his complacency in life. And sometimes how that'll get you a ring. But anyways, that was fun stuff. Josh, you want to take over the Sode at this point, because I feel like I'm really just out of my league.
You did good. That was fun.
Proud.
That was a fun segment.
know.
Kept it moving, Bobby. You did great. I'm giving you full props here.
Sir.
That was very well done.
I could never do that. I would never be trusted to do that.
No, absolutely not. So let's talk some updated ranks here, fellas. We are moving the combined ranks back over to big3idp.com.
Big deal.
Keep an eye out for those. Should be dropping this weekend.
How much those cost?
Addy, last time I checked, I think they're free.
Oh, how about that?
I think they cost you nothing 99.
How's this business going to be working, boys?
I don't know. We're gonna just sell ads. I don't know.
Sure, I guess we'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. But yeah, those will be free. Check them out. We're gonna be redesigning how we present the ranks on the website, so they'll be a little easier to get to. So yeah, a little bit of a holiday weekend reading material.
Yeah, and y'all, these ranks are dope. Like, don't act like we don't know. Like, we know what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
These ranks are good. I stand by them. I use them to draft a lot of dynasty teams this offseason. Those teams are stacked. Come holler at me if you want to see them.
I love it.
I did people dirty.
This is
holler at me.
This is Addy's insecurity hour, where he's like, I actually know what I'm talking about, guys. Okay, Dad, listen. I just want you to love me.
I would like a little more love.
So the point here, besides teasing these ranks, guys, is there anyone that you're struggling with? Anyone that has fallen or risen for you here as you've been working through this process? I know you guys aren't totally finished yet, but Bobby, let's start with you. Anyone that you're just like stuck on, you can't quite figure out how to rank them?
Well, I can say a lot of the guys, as far as running backs who are taking, like Darrington Evans, Joshua Kelly, Eno Benjamin, Anthony McFarland, Zach Moss, A.J. Dillon, a lot of these later round running backs, for me, I rated probably higher in Dynasty just because, I see them being teed up for success in the next couple years, which in turn makes me fade a Aaron Jones and a Devin Singletary. Even a LaMichael Pirine really has made me fade Le'Veon Bell as well. So, a lot of this year's 2020 draft My ranks were great until I added these rookies, and then the rookies really just made a mess of everything on both sides of the ball, defense and offense.
Because it is dynasty focused rankings, we should point out. So
Yeah.
when the rookies get dropped in there, it's like, where do they slot in?
Yeah.
Next
Oh,
to these
this
old guys?
changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like lobbing a grenade into the middle of your perfectly crafted rankings, and you're like, okay, so what the hell do I do now?
Yeah, it's tough. So Bob, so who's the highest rookie you have on the list, and where do they come in at?
So as far as rookies, I actually have my boy JT at 15 overall. He's being squished by Dalvin Cook is at 14, and then I have Miles Sanders at 16. I just love JT's outlook. I love that, as Josh says, that Indianapolis really wants to be a running team. I don't know how much longer Marlon Mack is going to be there in front of JT. So as far as offense goes, that's as high as I have JT. Now, as far as defensive rookies go, my boy Isaiah Simmons is obviously my first, and I have him at 86.
You happen to love Chase Young?
Oh, I probably do not. Let me find Chase Young. That's a good point, Joshy. So, sorry, my Simmons love just kind of overtook right there. But
Yeah, your Simmons boner was blocking your view.
I have Chase Young at 64. Nick Bosa is right ahead of him at 63. And then on the other side of him at 66 is Kenny Galladay.
Wow.
Yeah, big Galladay fan for this year. I like Bosa a lot, obviously. And then that just kind of shows where I really see Chase Young finishing 2020, and then, what his outlook for the next couple of years looks like. So these are very, very difficult ranks to come up with. And, the other thing too that I'll say, and this is something that's been going on for the last couple months, and I know Adam's been getting this a lot as well, but dude, if y'all have any questions or any trades that y'all are thinking about or any problems with, how you're valuing a player, jump in our DMs, tag us on Twitter. I know particularly myself included, but I know Adam loves this type of stuff as well. Love to kind of hype our guys or help you out with whatever, type of lineup situations you got going on. So feel free to take a look at these. If y'all have any questions, let us know. But I mean, this is a big deal for us to get back on our site. I'm glad these are back at home. These are kind of me and Adam's baby, and Josh helps us produce them and get all the mess into some type of form so we can put them on the website. But I love that these things are back.
Yeah, Addy, where are you? Is anybody you're stuck on right now, or any rookies? Is JT and Chase Young your two highest offensive and defensive guys?
Yes, that's they are. I have JT about 18. Me and Bobby actually we didn't look at each other's ranks at all before we did this, but we kind of after we got kind of completed, we asked each other where certain guys were and stuff, just kind of bounce off each other. And we're very similar on a lot of this stuff.
Mind meld, baby.
That's what I said. We're all. I think we're at a point now where we all share the same brain.
It's a hive mind.
So
Except
yeah,
on Todd Gurley. Except on Todd Gurley.
Except on Todd Gurley. That is
Well,
true.
We
have our.
The other two of us don't have $41 million
Yeah,
invested.
we all have our blind spots, Bob. But I mean, that's funny. Bobby had Cook at 14, Dalvin Cook. I also have Dalvin Cook at 14, and I this was someone that I had bumped down before the holdout news came out. But I mean, I think the holdout stuff is just a good reminder of, oh yeah, these running backs are going to have probably short lives.
Mm-hmm.
And not not literal lives.
Not literal lives.
Running back lives.
Running back lives. Yeah.
But so that was a reminder to me. So I think on my list I've got a ton of receivers in this in the top 50.
Mm-hmm.
But I had JT at 18. CEH was right after at 19. J.K. Dobbins was 23. He was in between DK Metcalf and Lamar Jackson. So those are the top three offensive rookies. Chase Young, I have him actually really high. I have him as my third overall defensive end, in between Daniil Hunter and Nick Bosa. One slight change I've made to my ranks, I have bumped Daniil Hunter down from number 1 to number 2.
Ooh.
Miles Garrett is my new number 1.
All right.
I just think he was on track to be the number 1 last year. I don't think that he's going to be lacking any motivation this year. So Miles Garrett, he's the guy that I like. He's also a few years younger than Hunter as well. So
Mhm.
that let's see where I had Isaiah Simmons at. I have Isaiah Simmons.
I have Simmons at 86. Right ahead of him, I have Michael Pittman Jr. And then right on the other side, I have Hayden Hurst.
I've got Simmons at 113. So I dropped some of these. It's just tough with some of these linebackers, you know.
Sure.
But like the linebackers, I have them in between. I have them in between Deion Jones
Mm-hmm.
and Patrick Queen.
Yeah, I have Queen at 90. I have Joe Burrow at 93. Trying to go through here and think about some of these guys that I have. Yeah, still some changes to be made before we really just publicize all this. But
Y'all will tidy these up here over the next day or two. We'll get those live on the site, hopefully by the end of this week, so people can check it out over the weekend. But
should be done tomorrow. I think there's at least the combined list. So we want to get the combined list done first, and we're going to do some redraft ranks.
Yep.
And then I'm planning on doing Superflex combined ranks.
Yep.
So yeah, just be on the lookout. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff these next few weeks.
Website is gonna be getting our attention.
We're highly motivated to get that thing rocking.
That's
so
right.
Be on the lookout. Coming to you free. We know what we're doing. I mean,
we're not dope.
I don't know what else we got to do, you know, to prove ourselves to you. But hey, we're killing it.
All right, Bobby, let's get out of here before Addie's literal head starts flying off his body. Bobby, I'm really proud of you tonight, man. You drove the bus there for the Hold'em or Fold'em segment.
Hey, I drove a bus actually last week.
Hey, you did?
Yeah, real bus.
You gotta explain it a little bit for us.
A friend of mine has a old RV, or it's actually an old school bus that he's converted into an RV. So I took it for a drive. So I did drive a real bus.
Take it off road?
No, didn't jump it. Didn't do any four wheeling.
GTA off like a ramp into the a gulch.
Didn't run over any pedestrians or anything.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
So, Bobby, have you ever driven one of the I think it's the brand is Pesky, one of the Pesky trucks before?
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Sure have.
Like the giant box trucks that are like 20 feet long or whatever.
Sure have.
I had to drive one of those for work down the middle of campus. The most nerve-wracking thing I've ever had to do.
Wow.
I'm in this rented vehicle driving down the middle of campus in like a 20-foot box truck. It was horrifying. I'm not an experienced driver in that sense.
But I guarantee you that experience made you the man you is today.
Absolutely not. It was almost forgotten as quickly as it happened, Daddy. But
Paxton, proud to have you as a father, Josh.
Yes, sir. Your boy's gonna be awful proud of you.
Hey, speaking of boys, we need
Peter's truck.
We need to start up the Spawn League sometime. Can we do that this year?
I don't know. We'll see.
I need another league to start.
I don't know if I need another league with Adam.
I'm bored, Josh.
Hey, let's not stop at one, Bobby. Let's get at least 2 or 3 more in before the end of the month.
2 or 3 more spawns. Have more spawn leagues. Hey, so Addie, we should mention, we always talk about big tings. Obviously, we're a fan of the Hanks child that uttered those words.
Sure.
But we have a guest coming up a week from Sunday that is going to, this is not an exaggeration, knock people's socks off.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all are going to be like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
How? These dopes got this guy on their show?
Yeah, but it's going to happen, and it's going to be a beautiful thing. I'm gonna probably tone it down a little bit for that episode. I'll be very nervous.
That's why he got it all out for this episode. So Sessler was my number one person I wanted to have on the show. This is Adam's number one person he wanted to have on the show.
And
I'm very excited.
Aaron Donald will be on in October.
That's what I said. Yeah, Bobby's is Aaron Donald. We can get him on the show. We can make this happen. So tune in. That will probably be our episode for next week. I doubt we'll have another Sode in between this one and that one.
Yeah.
So maybe like a solo pod or something. But
no, yeah, that's we're gonna be doing a lot of prep for that, and we're gonna take we'll be taking at least 3 or 4 weeks off. Right, Josh? Right, Josh?
Not. The grind continues, baby. No rest for the wicked. Hey, our 1-year anniversary is coming up in like 19 days, I think.
Wow.
So crazy to think we've been doing this for a year, but Anyways,
Adam is truly out of control.
He's out of it. Yeah, he's out of his mind. So we're gonna get out of here before the Sode Shack crumbles down around us. Thanks for listening, y'all. We appreciate you tuning in. Be sure to go check out all the Big Three Network pods. I'm gonna try to get through this ending here before Addy goes insane.
Yeah, we're gonna come take over the podcast landscape. That's a god. Well, I about did it. Josh.
That's what I'm trying to get us out of here, Adam. So go check out our Big Three Network pods, mic'd up with Mike Wohlert, Bless the Knees, a Vikings podcast, and the IDP update with Joey the Tooth. We've got about 3 or 4 other pods that should be launching here later this month. So stay tuned. Big things as always. Thank you all for listening. We'll see you.
I hope y'all enjoyed your precious podcast time because it's our landscape now.